Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to What's That All About? This is my debut interview, and I couldn't have asked for a better guest. This is Mark. I'm just going to leave it there because I don't want you to have to deal with the celebrity that will naturally go with it. If I give out your name, even though it actually says it on the screen.
That's okay. Well, we can edit that out.
Yeah.
Uh,
I just want to thank you for doing this because I have no clue what I'm doing, but we're just going to stumble our way through it. And I first want to ask you something. After 29 years and 7 months, did I get that right?
you did.
Okay. At a lovely community bank that shall remain nameless. That's where we met, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And what is the, I was going to introduce you as this, but I refrained because I wanted to get it out of you. What is it that we call one another basically from day one?
Dude.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I just wanted people to understand that our relationship has never been one of typical boss, employee.
No, not at all. And it's so weird because I was never that way with anybody else. I think probably most people would describe me, and you can talk about this, as a kind of proper, formal person. And it's funny when you joined the same wonderful community institution I did.
Yeah.
I had no idea what to expect. I had never worked with someone in that capacity before. I had no idea what that person would do. I knew it was important and it was going to be really, but I had no idea of what instructions to give.
Yeah.
And so I was prepared to be my normal self, which is kind of frostily, formally polite. So for me to get to calling someone dude in emails back and forth within a very short period of time was just amazing. You can't catch that lightning in a bottle twice. And so that's, anyone watching us or listening to this might think I was this way with anybody, but it is so
not true.
So much the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. And it was funny because when we first met, we met to have our interview over lunch.
Great story. Yes.
Yeah. And I remember no one had described you physically to me. Mm-hmm. And I just remember sitting in the restaurant waiting because of course I had to arrive early because I'm OCD freak.
Be prepared.
And I had on my highest of high boots because I thought, I had just been working for somebody who was 25 feet tall.
Yeah, very tall.
So I was used to always having, the level up. And when you walked in, I just remember thinking, son of a bitch. I thought. We're the same height,
Yes. And again, the funny thing is that I have been married to this wonderful person for
spectacular
32 years now, who is my height or taller. And so this is not a big deal for me. I mean, you can't tell from me sitting down with a cat. I'm probably 5'8", and I've accepted that, and that's perfectly fine. So when you stood up, I wasn't, well, I got to buy some elevator shoes for next time.
I thought to myself, thank God I get to wear flats.
Yeah, I was perfectly fine with it. Yeah.
Which I think I pretty much did from then on. I don't think
but not because it would have bothered me.
No,
I think that's really, really important to say that. But,
it is. You're right. And the funny thing is that I was so selfishly relieved. I was like, oh, thank God. But then I remember we sat down and you were like, so, I've never had one of you.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why a candid camera? I was like, what does he mean by that? And I just remember thinking, don't worry about it. You're not going to have to worry about it. I sold it. And it was like, and then we talked about the Red Sox and every other thing.
It was amazing because you were the first interview. And I remember thinking, and this is just kind of the person I am, well, I really have to go through the interview process with all these people because it wouldn't be fair to them. I don't know why I thought that.
Yeah.
And I thought, do I have to do that? Can we just skip that part? And we could. And so
and we did. We skipped right. We actually ended up kind of very quickly falling into our own language, our own routine. Like we just
Mhm.
always, it was the easiest friendship
Oh
and
yeah, yeah,
relationship that
yeah.
I have experienced in, oh my gosh, I don't even remember.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
I lived with
ever.
my
And
husband. I would say I lived with
yeah,
my husband, and you were my work husband.
yeah. And
So,
it was very funny because, and people, I mean, if you're watching this video and you don't know either of us, you might think, oh, it's two people talking about what a wonderful experience they had as co-employees, but it's a lot
yeah,
more than that. And I hope that people watching this recognize that you don't always come across people by accident, because it kind of was by accident, didn't have
yeah,
to happen,
right,
who you really realize you're compatible with, and to whom I am a very kind of, I think by appearance, a reserved sort of stuffed shirt guy. So for me
yeah.
to find someone, you just turned pink, Robin.
I understand that. I have no idea what
It's a
is
good look,
going.
um, and that's fine. That's all. It's all good. Either that, or there's a cosmic rays are flooding. Well, this, I mean, it could be. Anything could be happening with
Well,
aliens
it
in
has been
Idaho.
doing this.
It's all right.
It's a great look for my first
Yes, it
interview.
is. It's a little psychedelic. I don't even remember where I
Oh,
was. Yeah, to find
yeah.
someone who's like that off the bat is just really, really incredible. So if it sounds too, sorry if you're listening and don't understand this, but if you've never had an experience like meeting someone like Robin, you're missing a lot.
Yeah, you're missing out
Yeah.
because she's cooking for Cocoa Puffs. No. So I'm wondering, what did today feel like? Your first full day of
Oh
retirement?
gosh, yeah. So I guess the story would be that I ended up retiring a little earlier than most people would have expected, and earlier from an age standpoint. Turned 57 earlier this month, and so I think it was not a standard time, but it was the right time for
Yeah.
us for a whole bunch of different reasons. And because a couple different things, because we were working at home for part of the time at least, and a lot of the time during COVID, the transition
COVID.
the
What's COVID?
transition was easy to go to sort of experiment with. Well, what would it be like to be at home with your spouse all the
Right.
time?
Right.
And I think people may be really, really apprehensive about it, but it was, well, this is great. I don't see why this would be a problem.
Right.
And so we knew this probably at the end of March of 2022 that we were going to do this. So the glide path was easier than suddenly deciding you're going to retire, but it was still weird, I think. And
Right.
the weird thing was I don't have to get up. I don't have to check my work email. I did anyway,
Of
but
course you did.
funny, but I did.
Yeah.
And then I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to be anywhere. And at first, it's kind of an odd feeling, and then it was sort of very liberating, followed quickly by the, okay, you're going to have to figure out some things to do today, other than go to the barber at 8 in the morning to get your hair cut, and then go for
Yeah.
dinner at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
and start talking about the old and say, what? I can't hear
Yeah.
you. Tired thing. So
Yeah.
it's
And
the first day
yeah.
of the rest of your life, as they say. So we'll see how it
Yeah.
goes from here. But one day's been good.
One day's down. That's good. I'm glad. And I wanted to also ask you, is there anything you regret? Do you have any regrets when you look over your career? Is there anything that you regret?
Well, I don't personally. And I think I would say that because for a bunch of different reasons. First, I was lucky enough to work for a wonderful institution that gave me lots of opportunities, and I'm sure but career has not been for me a thing where you want to become something or be called
Right.
something or be paid a certain amount of money or achieve certain milestones, and once you've achieved those milestones, you're done.
Yeah.
I guess the regret is you lose a lot of connections with people who became more than just people you worked with, even if you respect them as professionals, much more than that. And you hope you stay in contact, but work and the work environment put you in contact with people, every day or every other day or every so often, and some of those connections inevitably get lost.
Life happens, right?
That I witnessed, but I
Yeah.
guess, so it's the people, and
Yeah.
the institution's great for what it was, but not like, I don't know. I suppose by some people would say, well, you've had a successful career, but the career is something you do in order to lead a happy life, and it's
Right.
part of it, but it's not all of it. So I guess I I don't have regrets other than some of the connections that we will end up leaving behind. I mean,
Right.
I regret that you left when you did, but that was your fault, which was a little
Totally.
earlier.
Actually, it was kind of
I
your
know
fault.
it wasn't. I was.
You kind of dangled this lure of Idaho in my craw, and
Yeah.
I made the mistake of saying something to my husband about it, and then he kind of was like, well, wait a second. Let's not just dismiss this out of hand. And I was like, wait, what? And here I am from Rhode Island to Idaho, and now you'll be joined. That's like one of my most selfishly happy things, is that you're going to be closer to you guys. All of you are going to be closer. Although Lydia is still pretty close. She's in Salt Lake City, but that's his daughter. Anybody's wondering. And Kathy is his wife. And it's her birthday tomorrow. So
it is her birthday.
Big shout out to Kathy for that.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Well, one day early, but it's a big one, and it's an awesome one. And after that, she stops aging. So it's all done.
Yep.
That's it. Perfect. But yeah, no, I'm very excited to have you guys closer. It's just 3 hours here is nothing. That's like, I'm just going to run to the store, you know? So I'm just glad you're going to be out here.
So are we. Not long. A couple months.
Yeah. No, that's good. One other thing I wanted to ask you before I move on to my little surprise thing is, does anything in the last, because I know that you've been kind of making this meal for the last year of retirement. You've been, it's been
the meal
preparing.
of retirement. I like that. That's a good.
Yeah, well, you're a cook. You like to cook. Oh, that's one thing you're probably going to get to do a lot more of, or just kind of, not that you ever really limited yourself to. You were always cooking.
Yeah.
I cannot believe I'm pink for this.
It's the hair. The hair is really what's kind of striking. I don't know how it happened, but I think it's
happened now twice. I was recording something else, and thankfully what I was recording didn't require me to be on screen, but I'm thinking, how am I selling this? Like, people think I'm weird enough. They're gonna be like, she's actually out of her mind. She's fucking pink.
It's a Gaga kind of moment.
Oh my God. You know what I'm gonna have to do? I'm gonna have to put a goddamn horn in the front of my head and some rainbows behind me, so that people think I'm just trying to play a unicorn or
Robin
something.
Unicorn Sparkle. Yes.
Oh my God. Anyway. Whoa. So
cooking at altitude. You may have found this out, but for those of you who are from sea level, you're used to cooking and everything is normal. When you get to 6,500 feet, suddenly the chemistry of cooking changes. And I went through this horrible sequence of like cooking a roast at Christmas for people and put it in the oven. It always comes out clockwork and it's raw. Yeah. So why did that happen? Next time, cooked it with a vengeance, came out dead. So we're still working on the adjusting to altitude cooking, but I think I'll try to overcome that.
Oh, you will. I know you will. Yeah. Was there anything else during the last year? Like I said, is there anything that really sticks out as the most impactful? Like, did something over the course of the time, since people have known, that really you keep kind of playing over and over in your head? Did something,
Anything in particular?
No, I just mean like from the perspective of what really landed for you emotionally. Like, did anything, or are you dead inside?
No, I guess a lot of people would say, yes, he must be dead inside, because really funny that you asked that question, because Kath asked me this, said this to me the other day. She said, quote, I keep asking you whether you're excited about this, and your answer is, yes, I'm really excited. I said, well,
get a lie detector on that, man.
If I said, oh my gosh, yes, I'm so excited, you would say something is wrong with him. He doesn't respond that way. Yeah. So I guess I internalize stuff and then I damp it down for the outside. But no, I guess the thing that really hit home was, and no one's indispensable. They're really not. And you have friends and you have an impact on people. But I guess what was most surprising to me anyway, and really kind of humbling, was that people felt genuinely, or seemed to feel very genuinely sorry that I was going.
Yeah.
And
I believe it.
I did not not that I didn't expect it, but I guess I didn't expect it. You know,
Yeah.
you figure you're part of a job and you do your job, and it's in many ways that makes leaving people a lot harder.
Right. Right.
Not, I mean, anyone likes to hear nice things about themselves, but
Not you that
I
much
just
though.
really, no, I find it embarrassing. I really do.
Yeah.
I just don't know how to deal. I don't know how to take gracious compliments very well. So I guess that would be the regret. Like, shoot, I should have learned this skill a long time ago, but
Yeah.
didn't do it.
That's funny that you say that. I had written down right here. I'm just going to read what I wrote.
Sure.
I said, I'm grateful that he's with me today. He's an amazing man, a fantastic husband, father, and friend to countless people, but he's modest. And if I gave him a chance to respond to anything I just said, he'd make a smart-ass remark and deflect it into Jupiter.
Well, you're not wrong.
I know. I do know you pretty well by now.
It played out the way. Here comes the tail.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I thought Gus would be making several appearances. There he is. He's the real star of the show, everybody.
Very much so.
Cat's out of the bag, literally.
Literally out of the bag. Moving a cat a couple thousand, well, you moved a dog a couple thousand miles, so you know how it is.
But Darla likes to drive. Well, wait, she likes car rides. She's a terrible driver. But she loves the naps.
Can't see over the dashboard.
Yeah, she's good. She's big enough. You're gonna have to tranquilize the Jesus out of that cat.
Yes, he doesn't handle change well. Do any of us? I guess maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it depends on the change. I think it depends on the change. But are you ready for some spastically weird questions from the strange bag?
I am. Strange bag. Okay.
I know I sort of introduced this to you the other day because I said what we were going to be doing. And here's the part that sucks is that now I'm pink. So everything in here is going to look the same damn color.
No, something looks green in there for sure.
You want me to pick a green one first?
You can pick just pick them blind.
All right. I'm just going to pick. These are questions that are just, the all-knowing internet gave me. Okay. I added a few of my own, but, and how about that? I picked up a green one first. And I wrote little questions on these. Yes, I cut index cards in half and wrote questions on them, and I wrote hundreds of them. Don't worry, we're only doing a few. We don't have...
Okay. Keep that bag, though. You're going to find it handy for other interviews.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, what's the weirdest thing, like an object, you have in your house?
Oh, we don't have it.
You can't say Gus.
No, we don't have it anymore. But we had a friend, Kath had a friend, a couple who lived up in Maine, and they specialized in buying at yard sales and thrift stores.
Yeah.
The most bizarre things you can imagine.
Oh, awesome.
One of the things in their house was 2 stuffed lacquered frogs playing dominoes at a table with little tequila glasses in front of them. That wasn't the weirdest thing we had in the house. But the weirdest thing they had was this wax candle that was, I don't know, 1.5 feet tall and about this big around. And it was really elaborately multicolored and little handles and things done with it. And it looked like a melted zombie flesh candle. It was the exact wrong set of colors.
Did you tell them that?
Well, we kept giving it. It was a Christmas present that we kept giving back and forth to each other to get rid of it, but it kept showing up in the house, and it stayed here for, 10 years.
Yeah.
That was probably the weirdest object. We put it in the furthest away upstairs guest bedroom that no one went into, but occasionally people stayed there, and everyone was too tactful to say, "What the hell is that thing?"
Was it there when I went over to have a booze infested night at your
I don't remember I don't remember if it was. I think if it had been, though, you could not have failed to notice it.
I don't know. I drank a lot when I was at your house.
yeah, that was good.
I crawled out to my car in the morning.
But I think that was probably the weirdest object in the house.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
That's pretty weird. Oh, another green one.
Okay.
All right. What kind of secret society would you like to start?
Oh my gosh. Like I would like to start?
Yeah. I think that your pizza place folks would, or finance folks would have answered this in like a flash. Those are people that he used to have lunch with every single day and engage in these games that I couldn't even pronounce.
So if you mean, so if secret means a group of people who you'd get together to do things with, it would probably be around something like game playing or word play. Those are like some of my favorite things in my life. I'm not, we all have our own politics, but I would not organize people politically. I think it would probably be groups of people who like to do things that may be outside the mainstream and they feel worried about it. I was like that as a kid, right? If you like things that no one else does, you're the weirdo. So maybe it would be for groups of fellow weirdos who like to do whatever it is, hobbies or game playing or certain types of music that are not in the mainstream. That would probably, and it would be probably like the way I like to do a lot of things, very, very quiet and not not aimed at overthrowing the world. Maybe changing it a little, but not.
Maybe just jerk it to the right, left, or whatever the good. What are the good guys?
To the left.
Oh, well, that's right. Beyonce sings that.
Everything you know.
Yeah. Okay. What's the best inside joke you've been a part of? I could probably answer this.
I can think of so many inside jokes that I have been a part of. Usually, one of the things that I try to do is get inside jokes, and then I can be very deadpan, but try to make other people laugh and break out in hysterics by making word references.
Yeah.
I think you and I have always had someone says something and we both know what they said sounds like something they did not mean.
We are HR nightmares. Without getting specific, we were always like, we would laugh about if anyone outside of our brains that didn't understand what we were connecting on, like say somebody said he just yanked it and nothing would happen. And you and I would, without words, look at each other and be like, we're going to have to talk about that later.
Right. So I think that's the kind of, absolutely. But with you and me, that happens so many times.
Oh my God.
With Kathy, a lot of the wordplay happens where I subject her to horrible puns or things like that. That's one thing that people will not miss about me is making up word jokes and she's very long suffering that way.
Yeah. And we always had our half of our conversations were like song lyrics.
Oh yeah. Talking through music. I was just thinking about that the other day. You could probably rewrite, I don't know, parts of novels or screenplays just with recorded clips of lyrics from songs.
Yes, you could. John Hughes movies alone, like 16 Candles, Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, like in one of my, absolutely. When I was doing my other video that I did called like I'm Weird or You, one of the questions that I was looking at on my phone was, what's the one line from a movie that just sticks with you no matter what? What is one line that will always pop in your head? Do you have a line like that, like from a movie?
Oh gosh, there are so many from a whole bunch. It depends on the thing.
Like where you are, what the circumstances are.
Right. Yeah. I'll come up with one.
Okay.
But the answer is yes, and there are too many of them to even mention. That's a lousy answer, but I'll come up with one.
Pineapple on a pizza, yay or nay?
No.
Those two should never be married. They shouldn't even date.
Pineapple's fine and pizza's fine, but not. It's one of those things that people have very strong opinions about, and
extremely. And I have very strong opinions too, which are the right ones. Pineapple is more of a dessert, and pizza is a meal you could eat for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I think that there are lots of things that work really well on pizzas, but fruit doesn't do it for me personally. Other people may like it, but they're not like it.
Yeah. So. All right. What are some fun and interesting alternatives to war that countries could settle their differences with?
Oh, yeah. So competition, some kind of competition other than a war to settle differences with?
Yes.
Oh, gosh. Funny because we were talking about this the other day, And I mean, if you put world leaders together and had them, I don't know, mud wrestle, for example.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Oh, geez. Well, that's not a surprise, actually, is
Oh,
it?
there's our ESPN again.
Yeah. Or American Gladiators, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Actually, if you
Jello,
yes,
mud, Jello, that kind of thing. Old School, that movie kind of popped in my head when Will Ferrell had the guy who was like 89 years old or something in the Jello pit with the girls, or was it Lube? It might have been Lube.
I can't comment.
Yeah.
But anyway, some funny non-lethal competition.
Yeah, exactly.
People more than young. Yeah, between more than young women and men who are removed from the conflict and have to do it on their own. So
yeah, exactly.
Make it funny.
You can't hire somebody to do it for you.
Nope, gotta do it yourself.
Gotta do it yourself.
Yeah.
Jesus, Biden would probably, I don't know.
Well, there are lots of there are lots of visuals in the world leader competition that we could come up with.
We should probably get lobotomies.
Yes.
What two totally normal things become really weird if you do them back to back?
Oh, this is another bad visual. A lot of forms of exercise.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
although back to back would be better for a lot of them than the other way around.
Yeah, that's true. Like riding on a stationary bike.
Yes.
If animals could talk, which would be the rudest?
Oh, I think dogs would be the most unfiltered. They wouldn't be rude. They would say exactly what they're thinking. I think dogs are very genuine, but would be like those friends who just blurt something out and say, they really don't mean that. They wouldn't say that.
They're happy idiots.
Yeah. Dogs, maybe, and skunks get a bad reputation. I don't think skunks would be. Cats would not say a lot because that's the way they are.
Cats can be nasty. They can be pretty rude when they're not in the mood.
They can be catty. Yes.
They can be catty.
But dogs, I think dogs would be cats I could think of would be sort of indirect, passive aggressive. Dogs are just, it's all out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got
that 10-minute
warning. Ooh, I'm back.
Yeah.
I just got my 10-minute warning from Zoom.
Okay. So maybe Zoom is paying for 30 minutes. Wow, this has been a fast 30 minutes. If you're watching this, you might not think so, but this has gone really, really quickly for the participants.
I know, for us, it's not.
Right. It's a stream of consciousness.
Toilet paper, over or under?
I have been trained over.
Attaboy!
Always over. As a guy, you do not have the option of saying it's so much harder to do one way or the other. And there's something about consistency, at least, that works for my mind, which is a little limited in terms of organization. So if it's always the same, then you have to do it that way. Yeah. So, yes. And we didn't get into this, but toilet paper, 1-ply, 2-ply, 3-ply.
Yeah, we didn't touch on that. I think I'm good with 2. I think I can make 2 work, but 3's like a dream. That's like wiping your butt with clouds.
It is.
And I don't mean storm clouds. I mean like the fluffy kind.
Yeah, it's well, there are some things you do in life that aren't really all that pleasant. So the more pleasant you can make them, the better it is.
It's true. You want to hear the most passive aggressive thing, which I hate passive aggressive, but Dave has been told, that's my husband. He has been told time and time again, over. I've shown him over. Every time I go into the bathroom to double check his work, I look at the toilet paper and lo and behold, it's under. And I know for a fact that he's like a fantastically smart person. Why can't you remember this one thing? It's almost like I'd let him erase tons of other stuff to just remember over.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of things in relationships are about recognizing that there are things that are important to the other person. And if they don't make a difference for you, then you might as well do the way the other person likes them. And guys take a lot of training in that regard, but I eventually figured that out. And
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not what it is, but the way you do it. But like a lot of things in life, you have to ask, is it important enough for you to fight about? And if it's not, then
oh no, I walk out and just shake my head and roll my eyes just like a
are there really winners and losers in relationships?
Right. Yeah, not when it comes to toilet paper.
No, not when it comes to toilet paper, right. At least you don't have to do that with Kleenex. The box is always right side up. You can't put the box. It's the equivalent of that. Would you put it upside down? Probably not.
He says no matter what tissues I buy, they're not strong enough for the way he blows his nose. So he uses paper towels. Don't even get me started.
How can you blow your nose in a paper towel?
I
know how you can do it mechanically, but
you would have to literally ask Dave. I have no idea. I watch him do it and my nose cries a little inside.
You would have to have the most rub-resistant nose.
He does, I think. I think he does. I think it's because he's a mariner. I don't know.
When you blow your nose, do you use one tissue or more than one?
Just one at a time.
No, I do too.
And I always
a wetter person.
And I always have to have one handy just because I'm still coming out of the winter, even though today hit 50 degrees, which I thought I was in, I don't know, like the tropics.
But there's no humidity and no dew point, so everything is dry all the time.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna pick one last question. I don't like that one I just picked. Do you have any questions? You're good, right? You don't mind me doing this?
Oh no, I can go on for a long time.
I know. Oh, that one's boring. Why did I write that? No. Even though it's a bag of questions, I didn't make up all of them, and some of them are just stupid. Who inspires you?
Oh, that's
dumb.
That is dumb. My family, my spouse.
I'm not saying that about your family. You know that.
No, but that's the obvious answer.
That one's boring.
Okay, that was no good either.
I'm telling you, this bag is all of a sudden a bag of shit. No, I'm just kidding.
SF can stand for a lot of things.
That's true. What artist do you listen to when you're trying to hype yourself up?
Oh, so a lot, but recently I would say musicians from the soul era, like 70s classic soul, like
where porn comes from, where porn music was born. And that's all right. It's fine. That's
on the way I bicycled down to the grocery store to pick up food for dinner tonight, and just because I feel virtuous that I'm doing some exercise while I'm buying grossly fattening food. And
did you get a cookie?
That was earlier in the day. I got a cookie, but I earned that cookie.
Yes, you did. You always earn the cookie. Always. But that sounds so bad.
There was an 80s playlist, and Bobby Brown. It's My Prerogative.
My Prerogative.
That is one of the reasons I love that song so much. Is I think it's probably the only time the word prerogative has been used in a pop song in the last 40 years. I may be wrong. Someone will search this and find out whether that's true.
I also think that Jesse's Girl, his use of the word moot is the only one I can think of in a song. That's so interesting. In My Prerogative, I think it's very prophetic that it played for you today on your first full day of retirement.
Yes, something like that.
I can do what I want to do. My prerogative.
Why can't they just let me live?
Exactly. What's your least favorite trait in a person?
Self-centeredness. I mean, we all, when we're young, particularly, the world is all about you. It has to be, because you haven't learned about other people. But as an adult, you should be able to get over yourself at least some of the time. And I think, I guess it's conceitedness would probably be the thing that I would.
Yeah, that's
some
a good
people
one.
are like that, and it's kind of harmless. But people who try to bully other people by showing how much better they are, I guess that's what really bothers me.
And usually they're not better.
No, they're
hiding,
something, which is kind of sad, really. But that's another story.
It is kind of sad.
It is.
This one's stupid. I'm so judgy. This is stupid, and yet I'm the one who wrote them down. What part of yourself are you the most proud of?
Not a lot, I guess. I don't know. I guess I like using language, so I like talking. As people who have suffered through 40 minutes of this, although it's going to be edited, probably would say, "Oh my God, will he ever stop?" But the use of words, I guess.
Yeah.
So I like that, and I've kind of not studied it in the sense of academics, but trying to talk to people in a way they understand. So that's, I guess,
you're really good at understanding and recognizing the different personalities you've come across. I've noticed that in the time that we worked together in the 8 years, and it's a massive skill. Not a lot of people have it. You can read a room, it's good. It's a good quality to have. And I think that you could have a master class on it. So,
well, I don't know how I teach it, but I'm glad you think so.
Mm-hmm. That's what I think. All right, we are going to wrap it up. I want to thank you so much for doing this for me.
Oh, this was great. If people like it, I would. But this is just like you and me talking. I hope other people find at least part of it interesting. But my guess is that if people were in a room with us, they would.
Because then we'd have props. And we were always good with props.
Yeah. Well, I remember one of the favorite things that I remember doing with you, and I know we're running over, is like when we went out and shared Christmas stuff and would give silly gifts to each other, and it was usually after work, and we would go get a drink, and the conversations over the items were so much fun. I think we pulled other people in around us who are like, they seem to be really enjoying themselves. So.
I think we had a knack for that. We were always inclusive.
Yes.
We liked everybody to be part of our silliness.
Yeah. Some people get it, some people don't. But if we get it, then the rest is good.
Yeah, the rest can suck it. And then they think that we're weird, then they can just move their chairs.
That's right.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Enjoy day 2 tomorrow.
I will.
I think we'll probably be exchanging a text in the morning as we usually do.
Tomorrow's Thursday, so it'll be the Thursday morning text.
And I already went pink, so I'll have my unicorn.
It'll be perfect.
Yeah. And that's an inside joke. People don't know. But thank you so much. And you'll be hearing from me anyway, because I have to wish Kathy a happy birthday tomorrow.
You do?
Yes, I want to.
Thank you.
All right, dude. Thank you.
Everyone.
Bye.